President Trump's pick to be the next Attorney General, William Barr, withstanding a barrage of questions from Senate Democrats at his confirmation hearing yesterday. Here to weigh in is former prosecutor and criminal defense attorney Vinoo Varghese. Good morning, Vinoo.
Good morning.
You know, Senate Democrats, they're looking to bar Barr. Has their attempt been effective, in your view?
Well, the first thing that you got to ask is whether if President Trump thought he found an ally in William Barr, he may have to think twice. The question, it's very clear from his answers before Congress that he will not bar the special prosecutor from continuing. He said he referred to him as Bob, speaking of Bob Mueller, that he's a friend, that it's vitally important that the investigation continue. He won't let anyone else interfere with the special investigation.
So he then is widely expected to be confirmed, and, you know, Democrats tried to get a little bit ridiculous with some of their questions. Listen here.
If you're confirmed, will the Justice Department jail reporters for doing their jobs?
During your previous tenure as Attorney General, you literally wrote the book on mass incarceration.
Let's imagine it's a judgment call, and the judgment by the career ethics officials in the agency are that you recuse yourself. Under what scenario would you not follow their recommendation?
If I disagreed with it.
On what basis?
The facts.
Do you see the Kavanaugh effect there, Vinoo, that the Senate Democrats were appropriate and more pointed in their questions, or more ridiculous like what you just saw?
Well, look, some of those questions were very different than Kavanaugh, right? Kavanaugh, you didn't have the specter of sexual harassment and beer and all that other stuff, a lot of which was brought on by the justice himself. The issues that they raised, some of it, like ultimately what came out is that Mr. Barr is a very serious guy. He is incredibly experienced. He knows what he's doing. When asked, he's a traditional law and order guy. He's actually a much more polished version of Jeff Sessions, you know, the lock him up, throw away the key kind of guy. That's actually comes out in his testimony. So ultimately getting back to the issue of this thing and the Mueller report, the question is he going to allow in any way anything to interfere with it? And he said no. But he had that memo that he wrote that was unsolicited, and so it raised questions. There was a lot of questions about that and why he wrote that, and he defended that on the grounds that he had one theory that he disagreed with, but he also said at the same time that yesterday no one knows the facts. So it raised a question of why he wrote this memo. But he's a tough cookie.
And when we get the final Mueller report, are you concerned, based on what we heard from Bill Barr yesterday, that it might not all be made public?
That he actually gave a very good indication that it wouldn't be made public. He said he would only release as much as necessary, consistent with department guidelines. So why this is a big deal for Democrats or people who are certainly against Trump is there are going to be decisions made in that report, or decisions put forth by Bob Mueller of who he didn't want to prosecute. I'm sure different people on the other side of the aisle would want some of that information to be public. He made it very clear he would not do that.
All right. Well, Vinoo, we thank you very much. And perhaps he did so well because he had the position before as the AG under George H.W. Bush. And, of course, he's 68 years old, so he doesn't necessarily need the job. Vinoo, thank you very much.
My pleasure. Take care.